Whether it is me or it's one-on-one, it doesn't matter. But for Darrell Dillon to look at me and call me criminal, a man, and I said that Peggy Masambi is the witness. I housed this man for 2 years. Therefore, he's there for 2 years. The very time Darrell Dillon was using before he became senator, I voted for him. The campaign is on record. His 2019 campaign, he was there for 2 years. The very time Darrell Dillon was using before he became senator, I voted for him. The campaign is on record. His 2019 campaign, I asked him, how much do you have? He said, I only have $100 for my campaign. I gave this man 20,000 United States dollars. He goes around, if it's not for me, you will never have to.
Let me come. Hold on. We got to go.
Question on gay rights.
The very time Darrell Dillon was using before he became senator, I voted for him. The campaign is on record. His 2019 campaign, I asked him, how much do you have? He said, I only have $100 for my campaign. I gave this man 20,000 United States dollars. He goes around, if it's not for me, you will never have to.
Let me come. Hold on a minute.
Good afternoon and a pleasant welcome to the Monday's edition of the program Freedom Hub on 87.9. We are grateful. We are thankful. The devil is a liar. On this wonderful Monday afternoon, it is rainy in Monrovia. We are told that it is wet in Magibi. Bombing County, Grand Cape Mount, some part of Bassa, and the entire Montserrado County. However you are, wherever you are following the conversation from at about this time, what a pleasant way to welcome all of you. Those of you in Liberia, those of you in the diaspora, and of course, all of you in the Leeward counties. I'm told there are folks following us via, Facebook, and also through several other community radio stations across the country. With the Voice of Hope in Plebo, Maryland County. My own friend and brother Wonder Wah is following from Plebo, Southern District, Maryland County. And there are other folks who are in tune to the radio from Radio Atina in Grand Crew County. And the host of other community radio stations across the country. What a pleasant way to welcome you to today's edition of the show. Too many issues in country. The second, I repeat, two individuals, two members of the Lone Staff, had to tender in their letter of resignation today. Mr. Bachu and Abel Plaki, two of Senator DeLonge's own people, resigned today. What a disgrace, what a sad thing. Very, very pathetic. We're going to read you out of their resignation letters and what may have triggered their decision. Yeah, that's on the flip side of issues. At the same time, there is this report from the Front Page Africa newspaper. That report is expanding the corruption situation at the level of the Buchanan port with a lot of claims and counterclaims. Too many allegations emanating. As journalists, as talk show hosts and pundits, we've made it our duty to investigate the matter. And that investigative process is on. There are issues we will need to bring to you as the situation unfolds. But as we speak, there are some findings we have. And it is only going to be important that journalists in this country, those of us who don't want to see, corruption emanating from any sector of our society, it is equally important, essentially important, that whenever we choose to do the due diligence, we investigate to the letter. And so we have our preliminary findings, and we want to urge Front Page Africa, in as much as it is important we expose corruption on a daily basis, for them to do their due diligence and deeper into the issues. Liberia's foreign ministry and the foreign policy of our country is bleeding. I repeat, the foreign ministry of our country is bleeding in the hands of power greed, D. Maxwell Sakimia, the one who is running the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as a dictator. He doesn't listen to any deputy. He's in no good terms with the assistant ministers. He has been able to successfully appoint 8 of his family members in the foreign service, giving them salaries more than what their supervisors are making. One senior government officials at the, I repeat, one senior government official at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs alleged 8 of his family members, D. Maswa Sakimia, appointed 8 of his family members in the foreign service, giving them salaries more than what their supervisors are making. So can you imagine the man sending his family people to different missions across the country, across the world, where Liberia got their offices, different missions, and give the people salaries more than their supervisors. So Sakimia will take this Kimia to go and serve one funding position in one embassy or foreign mission, and give the individual a salary that is far above the individual's own supervisor. How comical is that? We dip deeper into the issues. Trust me, there are too many things. A Liberia foreign policy may crumble if this minister continues to run the ministry in the way and manner in which he's operating. We dip deeper. We're going to continue with the information here on the big platform at about this time in the nation's capital. My name is Kai. I'm here up to 6 o'clock today. Vanta Colley is on the program. That's what she literally made me to understand. And so we wish her very well. And hopefully she's going to be here in subsequent time. It is the 30th of, is it August? It is the 30th of August 2021. We got barely a day to the 1st of September. We have barely a day to the 1st of September. And I repeat, barely a day to our birth month. Alexa Vanjakoli is on the 4th of September. My birthday is on the 11th of September. Of course, these are wonderful, wonderful times when brilliant sons and daughters of the land were giving birth to. Mirabra is the month of September. Jonathan Funanti Kofa is the month of September. And as a matter of fact, he's the deputy speaker. House Speaker Buffer Chambers is equally the month of September. I repeat, House Speaker Buffer Chambers is also the month of September. Major Jefferson Tambakoji, the month of September. I repeat. So you got a lot of individuals from the month of September. Randa Masakwa Dubayu, the month of September as well. And so if you're not born in the month of September, I pity you. I pity you. You got that? I pity you. And so we're going to be having a wonderful time. And we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful time here on the People Station. We take a few bars of our theme song. By the time we come back, we'll look into issues making the news in Liberia. Kanyo Barbara has requested for a month of leave in the quote-unquote issue regarding the National Port Authority, with specific reference to the Buchanan Port branch, over the issue involving Charles MacArthur Gore. Charles Gore, as a matter of fact, Charles D. Gore was involved with this issue of a little over $300,000. And as the investigation is on, there are more suspensions ongoing. There are more suspensions being made by the authority of the National Port Authority. But this time around, there are names being, called. There are implications. There are too many issues happening to that story. And so we're going to take our time to run into it so as to ensure that when we come up with our final, outcome, it is not going to be, short of the facts. It is going to be tailored around the truth and nothing else but the truth. We take a few bars of our theme song. By the time we come back, we're going to tell you exactly why we think Liberia's foreign policy is crumbling. I repeat, the foreign affairs of our country is the face of the country. If it is presided over by a man who doesn't listen to his colleagues, by an individual who is not answerable to his colleagues, who is considering himself as the all supernatural, the all super powerful at the level of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, then trust me, we have a problem from the onset. We're going to take a few bars of our theme song, few bars of this theme song. By the time I return here on this platform, it is going to be super fiery. Like I said, if you're not born in the month of September, it is a pity.
Everyone get it, some kind of selfish. But for God in heaven sake, when people wants a perception of you, even if that perception is not true, try to make it true. Try to prove it as not true. Maybe it was a perception that Musa is a crook. We did not decide to fall for it. We gave Musa an opportunity to prove to the public wrongly the perception that he's a crook. What Musa decided to do to prove to us, at least some of us in the Liberty Party, and the thing that people were talking about anyway, some of you from the chairman, I can do your most you can do, and that's exactly what he's doing. And that's not
Okay. Yeah. So
no. Musa is like a guy who did BM money, successfully took it to the bank, and the bank gave him clean money. And for him to count and use that clean money and live good, he decided to go to BM Bank again and take the black money to the bank and expecting that nobody will catch it. Musa benefits of punishment. Musa as a punishment. Every human being gets a shortcoming someplace. But for God in heaven sake, when people want a perception of you, even if that perception is not true, try to make it true. Try to prove it as not true. Maybe it was a perception that Musa is a crook. We did not decide to fall for it. We gave Musa an opportunity to prove to the public wrongly the perception that he's a crook. What Musa decided to do to prove to us, at least some of us in the Liberty Party, and the thing that people were talking about anyway, some of you from the chairman, I can do your most you can do, and that's exactly what he's doing. And that's not stand up.
You know what he's doing. Hello, if United Party wanted a vote from Liberty Party, they just lost one in Darul Gelon because he's not going to be on the table when we're deciding. He's compromised. You know, at the end of the day, this institution will make a decision. Whether it is me or it's one-on-one, it doesn't matter. But for Darul Gelon to look at me and call me criminal, a man, and I said that Freddy Masambi is a witness. I housed this man for 2 years. They were his rent for 2 years. The very time Darul Gelon was using before he became senator, I voted for him. The campaign is on record. His 2019 campaign, I asked him, how much you have? He said, I only have $100 for my campaign. I gave this man 20,000 United States dollars. He goes around to me. If it's not for me, he would never have to.
Let me come.
Or it's one-on-one, it doesn't matter. But for Darul, they just lost one in Darul Gelon because he's not going to be on the table when we're deciding. He's compromised. You know, at the end of the day, this institution will make a decision. Whether it is me or it's one-on-one, it doesn't matter. But for Darul Gelon to look at me and call me criminal, a man, and I said that Freddy Masambi is a witness. I housed this man for 2 years. They were his rent for 2 years. The very time Darul Gelon was using before he became senator, I voted for him. The campaign is on record. His 2019 campaign, I asked him, how much you have? He said, I only have $100 for my campaign. I gave this man 20,000 United States dollars. He goes around to me. If it's not for me, he would never have to.
Let me come. We got to.
Okay, so welcome back to the program Freedom Hub on 87.9, the official voice of Freedom Communications Incorporated. Yeah, the name is Kine, Oliver Kine. Again, I'm here on this wonderful Kimia on massive reforms at foreign affairs. That's a big bluff, a wonderful bluff. I can safely say that to you. That's a cover up. But again, welcome to today's edition. It is a very, very huge and huge menu, and I hope we will have the luxury of time to exhaust what we have on the platform today, and that is for the sole purpose of letting you, the Liberian people, know what's going on. But good news for Liberia. Samuel Doe Jr., the finance minister, and his colleague at the level of the Central Bank of Liberia, Honorable Aloysius Taru, the both of them, were selected to head the West African, zone, the West African Monetary Zone. So that's a good news. Liberia is heading that team. And so it is a wonderful thing. Liberia has been represented this time around in the news for the right reason as a country. So that's a good thing. And we hope their stay at that level. We hope their position at that level to chair the regional body is something that will bring a lot of goodies to our country, and it will serve the purpose. I mean, the intended purpose. So Aloysius Taru is here. He's been flanked by Samuel Doe, Liberia's Finance and Development Planning Minister. So that's what it is. So we have several other news in country, but Austin, I don't know if Austin is following. If you're following, you can hit me up, because we got an investigation. He and I jointly got involved in investigating what is at stake at the level of the National Port Authority. And you'll be surprised to know that the trend at which this thing is taken is becoming more comical to the ears. And if you were to ask me, I'll tell you that we exercise high level of caution in dealing with this matter. But let me say this as a premise to exactly what my position is on this matter, my initial position. Thankfully, Austin is going to call in, where it is ripe. He's going to call in to additionally provide his input. But this tendency of people stealing from the country or getting involved into inappropriate actions, and by the time they are caught, that's when they want to present themselves as clean individuals, or sometimes that's when you see them wanting to put up the gamut of patriotism. Is something that has never worked in this country. It's something that has never given us any result, and there should be no reason why we should encourage those things, from happening. There should be no reason. I'm saying this I'm saying this issue based on what has happened with Charles Gore, who was the manager of the Port of Bassa. By the way, we are told that Civicus Basigia has been appointed as the new manager of the Port of Buchanan, the Buchanan Port. I beg your pardon, not Harper, but Buchanan. So Charles Gore was the Buchanan Port manager. He was accused of getting involved into some corrupt scandal, with specific reference to a little over $300,000. He initially admitted, when he was quizzed, by officials at the Liberian Anti-Corruption Commission, he admitted of committing the crime. And he started to take initial responsibility. I mean, in fact, he appealed to those who were investigating him. Today, he has left the country. Why, it has been reported that he is feeding journalists in the country with information linking several individuals to this corrupt scandal at the Port of Bassa. Now, let me get this very clear. I, as an individual, I do not, frown at anybody's decision to want to expose corruption. In fact, I am hungry for corrupt allegations. When they say you are corrupt, I need it. I need evidence. I need somebody to serve as a living testimony to your corruption, or some documents to practically prove that you are corrupt, not on the basis of perception. So while we welcome the government's decision or anybody who want to help, fight corruption, it is essentially important that people who will get involved in the corrupt acts or people who will be involved in blowing whistle or exposing corrupt attitudes in the country, it is essentially important that they themselves be people who are credible. Under the law, there are some witnesses who are not considered credible witnesses. For example, you and I got confusion and you say your wife is a witness. That witness is never considered a credible witness under the law. Two are fighting. And the court asks you who were there. You say my wife was there. Your wife, under no condition whatever, out of 100 women, maybe that only one woman will say the truth if her husband is wrong. So there is something called credible witness. So if Charles, who admitted initially that he got himself involved into stealing money from the port, misapplying the money, and pleaded for some form of pardon or temporary of justice with mercy, will flee the country and start to call names, mentioning the names of Kanye Barbara at the LCC, mentioning the name of the managing director of the port, and such information is given to Rodney Sieh of the Front Page Africa newspaper, and in no time it is published without, and I repeat, without informing or requesting for the side of the individuals accused. It is far from the professional stance. It is far from the professional status, and there should be no reason why people should want to do that. I'm saying it because when we say this person is corrupt, when we say this person got corrupt scandal, we should have every little document in our possession, all of the pieces of evidence we will need, because we want to win that corruption case. We want to win it as a country. The reason why you found, the reason why you always see the GSC report having a lot of documents there, a lot of corrupt cases, and the government is yet to win, more than 10 of those cases, of over 100 cases, is because bulk of those issues will always come as hearsay. Oh, they say the money where Austin took, Kanye take some. The money where Sekou took, Alexa got some. On a hearsay, and you just, put Alexa in the paper, we go to court, there is no document to prove that Alexa was corrupt. Obviously, she will be set free because there were no real evidence to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that Alexa was involved with the corrupt act that was carried on. So in this case, we're saying, before you mention, by the time you want to say Kanye Barbara is involved, by the time you want to say Sidiki Fofana is involved, by the time you want to say Bill Tower is involved, by the time you want to say this person, that person is involved, you should have something to point to that when we take to the prosecutors, the court, it can be used to expediently adjudicate the matter so that those who will be held liable will pay, irrespective of who they are. Right? Whoever is involved, irrespective of their connection. Because this thing called corruption, if it is not fought from a very fierce angle in this country, I'm afraid that bulk of our national priority projects may not be sponsored, may not be supported because of this loophole always stealing people money. So we welcome it. Charles should have done the honorable thing. If this thing was, the first thing is, Rodney Sieh, Bill Traore, Rodney Sieh, Kanye Barbara, these are people who know each other very well. So it is not a difficult thing to find out from Kanye and say, look, Kanye, this is what happened. According to what I learned, Kanye was not reached. Somebody said he wrote Kanye, Kanye did not. That was not enough. Right? You understand it? So somebody said they did the story. You informed the MD of the port. You provided the newspaper and said, I wrote this about you and I want you to respond. Was it enough? But the thing here is, both Rodney, Traore, Sidiki, all the guys who were involved are people who know one another. But that is not the point. Our point is, if we can get sufficient documents that there was a foul play or conflict of interest in that awarding of the contract to the company that's supposed to be doing the Steve Doring at the Buchanan port, once we can get the document we need it, then we can build a case. It is one thing to just put up the paper and say, in this case, there is conflict of interest. Austin is involved, Biotawa is involved, Sirike is involved, Kanye is involved, this person is. It is just easy to do that. Anybody can publish anything in a newspaper. But when you accompany your publication with the real hard facts, sufficient facts, documents, to say the man got share, to say Kanye got share in this company, to say Biotawa got share in the company, this other person got share in this company, you should provide to the public the supporting documents. Before I own a share in a particular business, there is a business article of incorporation. There should be a business startup package. In the article of incorporation, there should be, something there to include how much percentage of a share I hold in that particular business. So when you say Sidike Fofana is the owner of the business, Kanye is a shareholder, how much share is he having in the business? We want to know. What is the share? What is the share of this other person? What is the share of this other person? So when you provide us arguments, accompanied by substantive pieces of documents that will prove, then obviously the media now, the independent media, and those of us who are pressure oriented, we can pooch. But without doing it, without those pieces of evidence, and you just break it up, it's a half-baked story. Until it can be completed, we don't want to fall for it. But our initial investigation is that, look, Charles, the first thing Charles will need to do is to muster the courage to return home. If you can return home, then stop making vague accusations. Ellen Cochran did that in this country. When she got involved with corrupt attitude in this country, she fled the country. She was abroad. She was abroad and started to spew out gibberish. Started to spew out a lot of gibberish. It died in too many people. She will call him, so this person is corrupt. This other person is corrupt, and in no time we could not find anything substantial. So you can be out of the country and keep making vague, allegations. If you want to do that, then give Rodney Sieh all of the information that can prove, right? If you want to be out of the country to accuse Kanye, you want to accuse anybody of being corrupt, give Rodney Sieh the real information that will prove beyond all reasonable doubt that those individuals, concerned are actually guilty. Then we can push it from that. But just to say, right now, is there somebody in the water? When you're in the water, you are drowning. Anything you can hold on to as a point of survival. So it is possible as a way of saving face, you can want to call everybody names so that when people feel offended, people feel embarrassed by it, they can want to push to just end the case. But no, this case is not ending. I will want to know who all ate that Buchanan money. We will want to know who all stole that Buchanan money. So if Charles DeGaule's, strategy is to say, let me call people name so that when they are jittered, when they are intimidated by that, when they are embarrassed by that, they will want to push around to end the case. No, it will not happen. We will want this case to end, but not to end as a result of people merely pronouncing other people's name as a way of displaying scare tactics. Don't do that. So if Charles want to help this situation, like all of us want to want to find the real criminals in this country, Charles should be man enough to provide you. You are the manager of the port. You have all of the documents available unto you. Display the documents. Let the press have it. Let know how much share Biotawa had. Let know how much share Kando Barbara had. Until he is waiting to provide those details, information, those essential information, I think he should shut up. Until he's waiting to provide it, then he should just shut up. But I think we got Austin on the line. Austin, you want to add on it? This is not a real topic I have, but I just thought to rumble through so that we run to the main issue of the day. Austin.
Yeah, I know when I follow your menu. I'm just smiling when you said that you shut up. But okay, yes. Some key points to add to what you said, right? The first thing, we need to know the worth of the contract. Now, why do we need to know the worth of the contract? Because we need to understand whether the contract was illegal or not. That is from a procurement standpoint. I think Charles is supposed to be having access to this information. If he does not, then Runde should have put further as Rodney Sieh, the all-powerful, quote-unquote, Rodney Sieh front page Africa. And I've always said that Runde front page remains my number one newspaper. But it does not mean when they breach or when they slip, we can correct them. On this point, I think front page owes for listeners or audience serious apology. Now, he spoke about the articles of incorporation.
Mm-hmm.
That is the most singular document, legal document that anybody can use to determine who owns share in your company and what's the percentage of share that the person owns in the company.
Obviously.
For a complex article to fall short, to even lay hand on the articles of incorporation of that company we're talking about, CDR, for me, I'm baffled. I'm baffled, serious, and really disappointed. Not only that, the CDR company we're talking about, some place said that Bill Torrey owns 60% share. Now, how can somebody who owns 60% share in a company write the bill to terminate the same company that you own 60% share in for poor performance? Whether did not know, I'm sure he's not even aware that this CDR company we're talking about, the contract has been terminated far way prior to this entire saga between Taskbar and the management of the National Port Authority. CDR contract is terminated. It was terminated prior to this entire thing. Bill will be only 60% share and be ready to go to terminate CDR contract. For me, it does not make sense to me. I think Ronnie did not know, and he's still not aware that the services of this company have been terminated for poor performance. It's indicated in the termination letter to the extent that CDR even threatening to sue the management of the National Port Authority. And Ronnie K. Front-Page may not be aware also of this. Ronnie K. issue of confidentiality. The number that is used to send the information to Ronnie K., this number is traceable.
Yeah, that number. That's Charles' number.
So, from the professional standpoint, you should kept the person's number confidential. But the main number is exposed. Somebody say it's all a mistake. No, but the intentionally did so to expose Charles' number. Now, the last time I checked, Rodney was publishing information from Henry Costa about Bill being arrested
in Brussels.
When Bill was right in the yard of the president, that also had to go live. The last time I also checked, the state government was reporting $10 million that was being given to National Port Authority, received by Bill Torrey from China Union. At the end of the day, it proved to be $6 million and not $10 million. You have to come back to apologize. Front-Page is a reputable institution, no argument about that. And most say I was still in that bureau. And I think Ronnie is under obligation to live up to that standard. We don't want a situation where anybody comes and talk the ethical thing. If you want, I like the way you place it. That is my friend. And I listen to our Charles Greater, he says, that is his son. That is my friend. And you are aware that Charles is my friend. But what we're talking here is fighting corruption. Everybody wants information from anybody who's willing to help us to fight corruption. But to do that is not when you are exposed. I mean, the best time to expose corruption is when you are being investigated for corruption. For me, I mean, that's not necessary at all. It's not far. It's not helpful for us. That has to be here, or he's supposed to be here, helping us to investigate this matter. The issue of CDR contract is far from what we're talking about. After it's coming into play, is this CDR the one who was receiving the money on behalf of the money that is being alleged to have been misapplied by Charles? That's what CDR is being right into the picture. Is it trying to scapegoat CDR to divert our attention from the 200,000 we're talking about, 300,000 we're talking about? These are critical questions that I think Rodney K. Front-Page Africa should have engaged the former port manager on. Because we are the audience, we are the readers. So we can't continue to do this. Now, I'm told also that there's this guy called Jester Tier. Front-Page also said, Rodney K. I listened to him this morning, he said Jester Tier, he said Kanu Barbara is a legal advisor to Bill Torrey. That is also untrue. We know that Jester Tier is the legal advisor to the managing director of the National Port Authority and not Cameo. So you see where we're coming from when we're talking about investigating or extensively to establish certain facts associated with people's character and institutional reputation. So if these information are not available to us, especially by a serious newspaper paper or sender, For me, it's simple for not only front page, it's simple for not only running, but it's simple for even the employees, the staff are work at front page Africa. And this thing needs to be followed. And we're going to pressure running, like you said, we're going to pressure front page Africa. If they've got to also help them in the investigation, we are going to do so, but front page will have to be compelled to publish the facts surrounding this particular saga at the National Port Authority, particularly the Burkina Port.
And Austin, before you go, that is my point, right? Our point here is we are not in any way against that investigative process.
Sure.
We want to look on this platform, you and I and the rest of the Liberian people listening, we want to know exactly who stole what, who got involved inappropriately with what at the level of the Buchanan Port. Whoever was linked directly to that issue should suffer the fate of justice, but it should be done cautiously. Once we have the fact, like you said, Charles de Gaulle should help Rodney here by providing the real information. He should provide substantive documents to prove his claims. Other than that, I just think he's just trying to call names. And if this thing is not discouraged from the onset, Austin, somebody could still here today, run to Sierra Leone, run to the Gambia, and say the money I took, although I admitted, but Austin ate some. How do we remedy that? Right? If we start to accept these kind of standards, what will happen in the future? Somebody could still and just implicate you without providing document. It will be a precedent case because Charles de Gaulle did it before. He admitted to taking some money, fled the country, called a few names of people who he said, were involved, and that will be business as usual. That's our point. So before we use this as a standard, we will need the real documents we provided so that we can set the right things in place and we can move on.
And that is why a few questions need to be answered.
Mm-hmm.
So, did $300,000 get missing through the transaction in the Buchanan Port? That question needs to be answered. If the answer is no, did money get missing? If the answer is yes, how much? What's the actual amount?
Mm-hmm.
How did it get missing? How was the transaction done? Who authorized the transaction? How was the payment made? How were the payments made?
Those are questions. Those are questions that should be asked by the LACC.
So, but the LACC cannot proceed to ask the question in the absence of the accused. So until we can answer these questions, we're not interested in CDR contract with the National Port Authority that been terminated 7-8 months ago. What we're interested in, 300,000 is missing. Cannot be accounted for. Where is that money? The people that are supposed to answer this question, they should be asking the authority of the National of the Buchanan Port to answer questions. So God is telling us that he's not interested in 200 or 300 kids outside, unless when listening from the Buchanan Port. He's interested in a contract that was legally signed with a company and legally terminated for poor performance.
Mm-hmm.
You see what we're going? You see what we're thinking? And God is now explaining to the diversionary tactics by folks who are in support of the Buchanan management team. And I think there's a huge challenge for the physical Bazi Jamil. He has to go beyond this. We want to know what really happened.
Oh yeah, that's our point. That's all.
Bill could lead the National Port Authority.
Look. Austin, here is the point. If Bill is involved, he should be brought to book. Whoever will be involved, that person should be brought to book. But the point here is, let it be done in such a way that it will be proven beyond all reasonable doubt. That's what we have on our laws.
And do you know that I was also hearing that this money was transferred to extra account in segments.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Rollins here, I'm sure he's listening, a number of some pages also listening. We need to put chance to share these transfer documents with us. Therefore, the transfer receipt, the deposit slip. Let's know which accounts and how much were transferred to these accounts on separate locations. This is the real issue, not CDR contract.
Okay, all right, Austin. Thank you very much. Thank you. So that's what it is. Our investigation continues. What we would choose to do on this platform is to always be in the interest of the Liberian people, and that's where we are. A matter as grave as the one we are having on our hands will require a lot of extensive, research, so that we cannot, carelessly make pronouncement. And in the end, we spoil a very decent case. We believe that those who stole, those who got involved, those who misapplied, those who may have had their involvement in the squandering of money at the Buchanan Port, they should be made to account. But when that decision is about to be made, it should be made on the basis of the facts, the truth, and nothing else but the raw evidence that will be adduced by those who making the allegation. So Charles got two options. Now that you started to talk to Front Page Africa, it's a good thing. We all in the media want to know what's happening. Provide more of the information. Look, just grab one paper that will prove that Bill owned 60% share in the company that was terminated. Provide a proof that Kanyo just give us those documents, and trust me, the rest is history. We're going to run with it. We're going to do everything to ensure that whoever is going to be connected, that person will be made to pay exactly what they owe the people of Liberia. Anything other than that, we're not going to buy into it. So we'll leave. Yes, we're going to leave right there and take this technical adjustment. That is just a bit of what we wanted to talk about, the Buchanan Port issue. Yes, so beyond that, we're just going to use one stone to kill all of the birds today. Beyond that, there is another news in country, and this is the third. Let me get my facts very clear. This news is the okay. So this is the August 30th, August 18. Okay, so there's a third resignation. The third resignation from Senator DeLong's office within a space of 1 month. Since Senator DeLong came to power, we have had 5 resignations from his office. The first one was Jacob Jalla. Jacob Jalla resigned from the office of Senator DeLong. He resigned on the 19th of October 2020. In his letter of resignation, he had this as the reason for resigning. He said, as a patriot, I take service to my country extremely serious and deeply appreciate your kind invitation extended me months ago to have served a country I love dearly by and through your honorable office. For this, I am grateful and would love to thank you for the opportunity. Right? So he said, best wishes. And that was the letter of resignation from Jacob Jalla. Now, Mati Sekola also resigned from the office of Senator DeLong. In his letter of resignation, he made it clear. He made it clear as to why he was resigning. So he says, my resignation brings to conclusion these commitments are made to support you to achieve the following. And so he listed all of them, blah, blah, blah. I want to thank you, the Monserrate campaign team, and the 2020-2019 senatorial elections and their hard-working staff for the support, blah, blah, blah. He explained, therefore, I will be resigning as chief of office staff. My resignation takes effect at the close of working day on August 31, 2021. So Martin Sekola, the chief of office staff, and he's the former right now. Tomorrow is the official date. It's the last day he got in the office of Senator DeLong. So he resigned on August 18, 2021. Now, on today, Ulysses Bachu, the administrative assistant to Senator DeLong, also resigned. But before we go to Ulysses Bachu's resignation, let's go and get our man Abel Newman Plaki, Abel Plaki's resignation. On the same today, Abel Plaki resigned. He says, though this medium, he said, through this medium, I hereby submit my resignation as political officer in your office. After 2 years of dedicated service to you, the county of Monserrado, and the Liberian people. My resignation takes immediate effect in 2 weeks as of the date of this communication, is solely motivated by personal and professional reasons coupled with policy differences on issues of national concern and etc. Meanwhile, I would like to take this time, blah, 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 and he went so forth and he said what he had to say. Then Ulysses Bashu's letter of resignation is the deep kick to this issue. Bashu said, please accept this letter as a notice of my resignation from my position as administrative assistant effective 2 weeks from now. My last day of employment will be September 13, 2021. My resignation is not only hinged on administrative and other professional, what is this? Let's try to put it up. Other professional otherness, but as well as the opprobrium that heaped you and your office. The opprobrium that heaped you and your office, and that is OPPROBRIUM, opprobrium. We're going to define what that word means. Thanks for affording me the time to serve in that capacity and as deputy campaign manager during the 2020 senatorial elections that made you senator. If there is anything I can do to help make the transition easier, please don't hesitate to ask. These are the first 2 issues we're going to talk about. Then we take calls for just 8 minutes. Then when we come back, we talk about the foreign service of our country. There are some other issues we need to talk about that foreign service. There are 2-minute leak communications here from the angle of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Their official chat room as well. So those are issues we'll be talking about today. But what interest are we taking in this DeLong and his office resignation issue? Like I told you from the onset, for us, we don't take pleasure in discussing Senator DeLong on this platform. But for the level of effort people like us play in the elections that saw Senator DeLong winning the county 2 different times, it is as important as whatever you want to think for us to come back at about these kind of times to remind you of things we said before and to also point when the things we say are manifesting today. And that's the reason why we choose to discuss this. In a single month, in the month of August alone, this month, 3 persons resigned from the law office. 3. Martin Sekola, Ulysses Bashu, and Abel Plaki. 3 individuals resigned. Their letter of resignation, on the average, is tailored on what is believed to be serious disappointment from the ideological perspective. Mind you, these are people who used to curse people who were against the law. These are people who working for him. These are people who he gave job. People who taking pay. In Liberia, job business is high in this country. So imagine people resigning from their job in the legislature. Mind you, those office staff are people who have job. Once they are willing to live by DeLong norms, once they're willing to fall in line and defend anything DeLong want to do, obviously they will hold their job for 9 years. So automatically, once they choose to live the way DeLong living, to accept the standard DeLong is operating with, they will have that job for 9 years. Imagine those individuals resigning their respective positions.
right? Resigning their respective positions. Imagine people like that. The level of effort we've applied. And that's the reason why you see us talking about this. We did all we could to stop this man from being elected. But people like Abel Plaki, Ulysses Bashu, and Marty Sekola will stand in our faces at the time of the campaign and say to us things that we knew. And they will say to us things that we knew they were saying from all angles. Today, we are happy that we are still alive. And people who curse us, people who insult us, people who continue to insult us on a daily basis, to have some of them realizing what we told them before today is a thing of joy. If you think what we are into got any other reward somewhere, no, there is no better reward in this media activities or this warfare of propaganda than watching your opponents bow down to your same assertions and analysis of them. There is nothing more rewarding than what we are witnessing today. To see us, to see all alive, and to find Abel Plaki, who there was a time I was dealing with Senator DeLong. We were on we were on Benson Street. To see Abel Plaki, who called one time, to provide clarity at a certain point in time, it went gutter. To find a Plaki who would defend DeLong beyond all odds. To find him resigning today, it speaks volume. And to a greater extent, it is a thing of joy and achievement for people like us. We ain't got to get money. We ain't got to get billions of dollars in our pockets. The fact that what we said today is manifesting is enough. It is enough of a consolation for the people of Montserrat County and for their decision to have refused to listen to wisdom when we were pouring it out. But let me break it down and let you know why the people resign. They resign because what attracted them to DeLong is no longer what DeLong is living up to. But think of it, these are all educated people. These are people who are educated way better than DeLong. Kola is a degree holder. Plaki is a degree holder. All of the guys in his circle are degree people. Oh, you think they were so beyond DeLong becoming senator? You think they were crazy to go behind DeLong? DeLong was not senator when they started supporting him. In fact, they started the senatorial campaign. They made a case with him because they believe in him. They believe in what he was projecting. They believe in the ideology and the standard he was pushing. Nobody should take more than 5,000. Lawmakers should not prioritize traveling out of the country. If you are to travel, don't ride business class. Don't do this other one. Don't do this one. These are things that attracted them to DeLong. These are things that made them to support him to the letter. These are things that made them. But after sacrificing, after going through, after going through everything, somebody just reminded me that Martin Kola and Abel Plaki are master degree holders. DeLong and others are still fighting for BSc. Thankfully, we can point to one high school graduated from, DeLong is still struggling to do that. So all of what we told you, all of what we made you to understand, the reason we are saying it today is because we want the public to be the judge. That's why you see on this platform, we don't make statements without investigating. Whenever we say things here, we already done. Any day you call, we'll provide our evidence. Any day you do that. That's why when you see, we don't want to jump into concluding issues. No, it is not for any reason. It is because we want to be careful with the facts. We analyzed DeLong before, way before. We knew him inside out. We predicted his mood. We told people that he was only doing all of what he was doing at the time because he needed a 9-year period that is guaranteed. We told them that he was doing all the pretense. After 3 weeks, he called people, he gave them, 4,000 or 5,000. He said that money he gave them to Monserrate County. He was doing all of those stuff because he, DeLon, knew that he had a 9 years period to campaign for. After campaigning for that period and he won, what is happening today? In a single month, 3 persons resigned from the office. In a single month. We need rocket scientists to tell you that this man has failed himself. The last time he said he failed his mother, he shamed his mother. He has failed himself. He has failed those who believe in him. And by extension, he has failed Monserrate County as a county. Liberia as a country, we don't even want to talk about it. That's DeLon for you. Matty Kola and the rest of the folks who resign, they resign because they seem DeLon. I repeat, these people resign because they seem DeLon is living opposite to all of what he said. When we are playing drum, a few weeks ago, when we are playing drum, with people, country people, they don't say the economy were in the toilet. And we are showing sign of insensitivity by playing music, by beating drums, dancing, singing. DeLon was saying we're not thinking about the country correctly because we are going to play music, to play drums, playing drums. Dessim DeLon, today, Dessim DeLon was caught singing reggae music in a club. Right here. Dessim DeLon was caught singing reggae music in a club. Reggae music. Fellow Liberians. You hear that? The voice you heard there is the voice of DeLon. DeLon was singing in the club. Let me reduce the volume so that our people watching us can listen. We're going to blend these two discussions. They put discussion in this DeLon discussion. We'll take calls on it. Then the second segment we do with the foreign ministry. Those of you watching, they're saying that DeLon, his in-short trousers with orange long sleeves. That's Senator DeLon there for you, singing in a club. That same senator was jumping here and there, telling people that Jawia were insensitive. Jawia never had sense. Jawia was they want that one. People suffering. We are there dancing, playing music. You're the DeLon here. Ain't watching you in America. You're the one always sponsoring GoFundMe. You're watching it. This is the same DeLon caught right-handed singing in the club. You hear me? Caught right-handed. That's DeLon right there holding the microphone. You see that coming with the orange long sleeves? That's DeLon right there. That same DeLon. So the likes of Matty Kola, Abel Plaki has realized that DeLon lied to them. This is not what he promised. DeLon didn't promise them that he would take money for rent, that he would take more than $10,000, that he would take more than $15,000. Or any lie to us first when the 15,000 came out and said the next one come out, you will talk about it. The second 15,000 landed. Has DeLon ever called a meeting to tell us what he has done with it? When was the last time DeLon presented money to Monserrate County as was promised during the campaign? These are things Matty Kola and the rest of the folks have seen as pure deception. But to a greater extent, I would not want to bounce too hard on Matty Kola and the rest of the guys, Abel Plaki, because it is important that people change from their mindset. It is a good thing that they realized that they've been supporting a fraudster all through. They've been supporting somebody who is highly insincere to his conscience and to himself. I got no business saying this thing. People resigning from their own office at their damn business. That's the business. I got no reason saying it. The reason you see us flagging us is because it is very, very hurtful. It is sad that people will see danger ahead and warn people that this is danger. This thing is danger. This thing is messy. This thing is not better. This thing is fake. This thing is pretending. And people willfully choose to go there. Yeah. People willfully choose to go there. Now, to have the same guys who used to choke us, who used to choke us intellectually, breathe down on our necks, do everything to us, to see them resigning and mentioning the same thing we told them. There is no fulfilling moment in this. Oh, it's almost like footballer played the football game and he won the World Cup. Or somebody who is playing in the European League and won the European Champions League. Or an African player winning the African Cup of Nations. There is no rewarding moment in our journey, in our whole propaganda journey than this time. To see people who confronted us before buying down to all of what we said. Oh, you see them resigning now? It is now that they've realized that all we've been saying were just pure truth. But because of some sinister reasons, because of some personal transfer aggression, we hate we now want to see we are president. So anything that is associated with we reject it. Boom, out of anger, people were in the midst, they don't send it up. 3 persons the same day. And they don't, without remorse, without having any sense of reasoning. They don't wrote on a page, tell them thank you. Thank you for serving him. You see, an Abel Plaki who foot got broken. Abel Plaki, a man foot broke during the campaign. Just to make sure you are senator, the man is resigning from your office with a flimsy reason. The man will not go in detail to say you lied to or you tell others one, and you don't care to reject his resignation. Oh, there are instances where Ellen Johnson suddenly rejected people's resignation. There are people who resign and who reject it. There's sometimes you are the boss for somebody, the person resign, you reject the resignation because you want to play the leadership role in talking to the person to amicably handle whatever may have trickled between you and them, whatever may have trickled their decision to want to resign. I can work out one morning and write AB Gosson, who is the manager of this station, that you know what, AB, for some other reason I'm not working. I will be resigning on the 11th of September. I can write and AB say, oh man, thank you for your service. Or your services you've been rendering. Come on. That's not good leadership. You should call. You should act. You should make effort. But to just outrightly go and say, thank you for your services. That's the highest level of ingratitude ever shown. That's the highest level. Now let me read you what Boyman J.V. Boyman wrote about the Delon saga. Boyman J.V. Boyman. Let me read what he wrote. On the whole, Delon issue. Let me read what Boyman J.V. Boyman wrote. He said, I have decided to remain mute and stay away from Liberian politics, but I'm constrained to say this. And he made some biblical references. Right? Yeah, so the biblical references are there, he moved on and deals it. So he came back. He said, Delon, I was one of those who supported your re-election bid in 2020. But in less than 1 year, of your re-election, you have proven some of us very wrong for our decision to have earlier shown our own party to support your re-election bid. Almost everything that you condemned yesterday now seems beautiful in your eyes. First, with no regret, let me register here that you are a very ungrateful guy. If you were a good example, you wouldn't have allowed a guy like Abel Plaki, who almost died struggling to get voters for you in 2020, to just go away. You are also a big opportunist and a dangerous politician, a dangerous political parasite who preys on the gullibility of our people, We told you guys that it was the gullibility of the Liberian people that Delon was striving on when you said you branded us all of the ways you wanted to brand us. Today, Boyman Jevi Boyman, who supported Delon, the man supported Delon with all of his might. Today, the man is there confirming what we said. You are also a big opportunist and a dangerous political parasite who preys on the gullibility of our people to get what you want. Delon, I know you might argue that you have 9 more years to go. But I want you to know that God installed you into that office for a reason. If you choose to undermine the very people who elected you out of anger and frustration, God himself will remove you from that office before the end of the 9 years that you are supposed to serve. That Evangelist Boyman Jevi Boyman talking. Evangelist Boyman Jevi Boyman. Let me repeat what Evangelist Boyman Jevi Boyman said. Evangelist Boyman Jevi Boyman. Let me repeat what he said to Delon. He said, Delon, I know you might argue that you have 9 years to go. But I want you to know that God installed you into that office for a reason. If you choose to undermine the very people who elected you out of anger and frustration, God himself will remove you from that office before the end of the 9 years that you are supposed to serve. To have 3 men leaving your office within the same space of time speak volume of who actually you are. This is not a good political signal for you and even the future. The reason why you have decided to support former VP Bouaka is wishful. It is not for the growth of Liberia. You simply hope to use him claim to the presidency one day. Evangelist Boyman Jevi Boyman. The man said the only reason why you Delon supporting Bouaka is wishful. It is not for the growth of Liberia. You simply hope to use Joe Bouaka to claim to the presidency one day. We must stop this bad attitude in Liberia. Using the poor to get the rich and become richer and dump the poor after. Just yesterday, you were the poor man's friend. Today, the very guys who struggle with you have been driven from the table for your personal ego. What moral will you speak against this government? Evangelist Boyman Jevi Boyman, a Delon supporter, is asking Senator Delon this question. It is hard time you repent and focus on what positively impacts the lives of the people. Let's get it. The life of the people and escape the wrath of God. But if you continue this path, trust you won't see the end of your 9 years. Evangelist, the prophet is prophesying. The prophet is prophesying. So listen to prophet Evangelist Boyman Jevi Boyman. He said, what moral will you have? No air? Blah, blah, blah. He said, but if you continue this path, trust, you won't see the end of your 9 years. God himself will remove you from that seat to give honor to himself. Sign, the Evangelist Boyman Jevi Boyman. God. Oh God. So you see, I could find no joy in anything than to be thankful that this day was able to come while we are alive. When we make political predictions, sometimes from the initial stage, people don't understand our intent. Sometimes people don't read between the lines to know exactly what triggered the decision we make on radio. And that's why we keep patiently waiting. And today, those things we said, those things for which we were being bullied, we were being pressurized, people were calling our names, this and that. Today, the same people who are causing us, they are the ones exposing the very God that they decorated. So it is a good thing. And so we'll leave it right here. We're going to take calls on the first batch of issues we had. The first and foremost is the Buchanan Port saga. Let me repeat. We do not condone, we do not support, we do not encourage corruption anywhere in any part of this country. And that's why we're asking Charles de Gaulle from Page Africa, since the transaction is between them, or a Charles de Gaulle to also bring out the evidence to us, we will welcome it. Give all of the real evidence that will attach people involvement in whatever deal it is. Once you do that one, you leave the rest of it with the country and see how we're going to fight that. But to just sit down and say Austin is corrupt, this one is corrupt, this one how is dealing. When people have share in that company, we need to know how much share they had. We need to know the article of incorporation, whether their names are attached, whether they are legitimate, shareholders. Then we have a conversation. But we cannot speak to open air. So give us more, provide more, or make yourself available. Let the auditors do the auditing. Let them investigate you. The country is safe. Everybody can provide protection for you. You are a public property right now. So until that can be done, I don't want to buy into that. But on the DeLong issue, I got nothing else to say. And that's why we'll not talk more on it. So we're just going to take 10 calls. And by the time we are done, we look at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. By September, the president is supposed to be going to the U.S. There are too many information around that event, and we will need to talk more about those issues. So join us on 86500-104, 086-500-104, 0776-104-104 are the numbers to join the conversation right here on 87.9. Let's take this question. Hello.
Hey, hello, okay.
How you doing? Where do you join us from, sir?
My name is John, and I call you from Delaware.
Go ahead, John.
Okay. Thank you. Before I can get into what I want to say, you have to update me on what went on this one time. Was it on Friday or something?
We'll talk about it.
All right, because I'm very concerned. I had to post it on my page. I posted on Augie that you guys were attacked. So I want to get update on that. Yeah, you see, thank you. You see, with the election of DeLong, like some of us we knew, okay? And after his election, trust me, some of us we broke down for days. That why God should even allow this kind of man to be a senator for us. We grieve and then that passed. So right now, those that elected him, they will grieve more than us. Because listen, we already grieved, it already passed. But those that broke their legs, the blackie men you're talking about, other people are in the die, doing everything. They are the one that will really feed it. And they can reverse that identical decision. They can reverse it. It's already done. It's already a deal. So they can do it. And as regard to the Port of Buchanan issue, as you just said, the guy he's in America here reading 1, 2, 3. I listened to the man giving according to him, he was giving report, giving account of what happened, reading 1, 2, 3, let's say saying ABC and pretending that he reading. But as you said, then he being truthful enough to give all of the tangibles, all of the document that he thinks he was a
manager. He should have all of the documents.
Yeah, he should have it. Yeah, he should have it. He should bring everything that linked the identical man that had to do with Ben receipt, that he bring it, so that at least we will get to know, so that at least we will know who are those in the government that try to drain the government into the pit, so that at least we can be able to figure that out, so that we can bring, so that the president can know it quick and then bring people on board.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much. From Delaware, we come back to Liberia. Let's take this question. Hello, go ahead.
Hello, okay.
1 minute.
Alexa, how you doing, my brother?
Alexa is not here today.
Okay. Let me say thank you. Okay. This is Marcy calling from Clarendon.
1 minute.
Never to be stopping, you know. Okay. I live in the analysis. My son, the thing he said, it is true. The people that live in that office, I don't even know they live in the office, so they tell you that they live in the office. If you don't want to do what I want. But you people are telling us, they brought a mess to us today. They cannot do inside today. I said when they were calling results that they men want. 1 week I was in my bedroom here. I was sick. My pressure went up. Okay. My daughter came and said, Mama, you see that here? They calling results outside the result 10 over. Let when they losing me, that's what they tell me when they losing me, so they swear I think on me. Okay, what he said that day. I like to say, and they don't want. We agree they don't want now. What are they living up there for? Going where? The men are the best man. You want to tell on top of the time. You want to lie. It's 44 hours right for that say somewhere and the other going weapons and all. Who weapons? You are insulting them. The whole was funny and useless. And they join in that place. They were behind when they talk, when they insult you, when you go to they insult you. So they different, they don't okay. It speaks volume, my son. What you said.
Thank you.
It speaks volume.
Thank you very much.
The issue of that man that saying confessing in America. He's joking around and you know him man. What do you know? Say someone elaborate. Who are protesting, the America are protesting. You shouldn't run away and say he's confessing in America. He's joking. You know, person that he messed up. When you do that thing, but when you run the thing that I want, when you go and say, man, let you calm down and get a confession to the people. That will be a bureau backing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can even be in America and provide the documents. That's what we need. Just provide the documents. This person, hello.
How are you? Okay. How are you doing today?
We are great. What's your name and where you join us from? 1 minute.
Okay. This is Negozin. I call from Cardwell.
Cardwell, go ahead, sir.
You know, this is a sad day for Liberia. Seriously. You know, for the first time in my life, I saw the motorboy boys in the numbers contributing only because they wanted to see somebody who considers themselves a light. I listened to a talk show during the time where a lady gave a personal point out to this guy. I just wondering the way they're sitting right now, how they feeling that this guy used them, fool them, only to accept the power. Now look what is happening. Everything that you guys are saying is not being portrayed. And the some guys are causing you guys today. They are there resigning. Why they can't stay there? You know, I want to tell you guys. The only thing I will say that it's just the beginning until Dallas can go back on the air and revoke that word that is a light. The disgrace will come more. And to this other guy that just calling for America and saying all kind of thing, he wastes his own time because he want to provide evidence. Himself as a manager, all the documents you have, you should have it just provide for America. They will know that what he's saying is true. But until then, Labro, we just have to do okay. Let the evangelist say. If we don't move, you'll be removed. God itself will move from there.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a pleasant day.
Thank you. We'll leave you and take this person. 1 minute. Go ahead. No time. We take 3 persons after you. Hello.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. William W. Wuru, football defender.
Go ahead, William.
Thank you very much. Oh, you said it all kind. You know, this is what I said on EBC radio this morning. I said, for 9 years, I got Jabate. You see it? They put them, they know they make with fake lie. And I said, they know. You see, and I said, they know. Even why they say, all the things, the man promise that you will do, doing it a lot. You know what I mean? Fake lie. But they depress, they lay on the man, they defend the man, to the letter, the man will be elected. The man let to the stand like that. Or the 12 things that are part. They man put that or fake thing lie. The 12 things say they stick on the other day. They were supporting the man. They may proclaim himself to be a Jesus Christ. Like, no fear inside. You see, they're going to result on stay there. When now you're going to continue, you see, I want to go to they can't get no improvement, nothing. When you're starting to enjoy your work, they're in there, money getting nothing. He care. Because the man knows woman 9 years old, he get money, why you want know.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. We'll leave you right there. Let's take this person. 1 minute, go ahead. No time.
Hello, okay.
1 minute, no time. We take 2 persons after you. Hello.
Yeah, thank you, Khan. This is Thomas N. Sabo, member of the Movement to Protect Ambassador. We are legacy. I join you from Leisure Johnsonville. 1 minute, Thomas. Khan, you see, the issue of my adult Digo is so disheartening because you see some of my Digo is one of the men I was closely following, but that issue came up, we all expected him to be here, investigation go on. But for him running away, then he there, adding a hearing cost in America, he start talking all kind of things, getting people confused. It's somehow disheartening. Calling prominent people in the society is somehow embarrassing. So, another issue I have to do with the issue of Senator Dillon. If it's Blackie there, they were all when the moment he tells Dillon, he tells Blackie that he one of the messages from that But they don't think that again Joe way they don't believe what that man resigning. It's evolving to saying that they don't cookiness, and I think saying that they don't got to rethink. Why is it that he lack administrative function or he there are people who not go to school they are very dangerous in the society. They have educated people. We don't joke with them.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We leave you right there. We leave you. There should be an international caller here. Right after that international caller, we just take one more person, then we call your day on this topic. Hello, this person. Hello.
Yeah, okay.
One minute. Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, okay. Well, my name is Sarah, so I'm calling from India. Okay, we told the people about that, that was a fake politician. And now all the money is needed to put our brother on the street to protest. They are seeing it for themselves. At least thank God about how they expose the D's. Thank for the show.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take the last person. Go ahead. Let's hear you. 1 minute.
Thank you. I'm Emmanuel. And I call you from the headquarters of the Veterans Bureau into community.
Go ahead, Bonoti. 1 minute.
Thank you, my dear brother Khan. Firstly, the issue with the Tikiana Post situation, I think Mr. Charles Mahato Dikwa, I'm not surprised at allegations coming from him. They get a famous saying that when a man is trying, even a straw, we will try to hang on it to survive. But we let to say to Dr. Traore, we understand all of the tactics and where the allegations they are coming from is distractionary tactics that is intended to distract you. Do not be distracted, focus on the work, keep working in the interest of the Liberian people. Secondly, with regard to the issue of Darren Taylor, for me, I am not surprised. We told our people when Darren Taylor was elected, I said to our people that unfortunately, we are just elected or hyena to go and take care of food. So you cannot give political cassava leaves to man, and then when the cassava leaves are eating up, we wonder why. We told our people on account of the inconsistency that is caused they don't like our people that he will not travel to America doing agricultural break. He will not ride in a car more than 20,000. After that, when Taylor got elected, you saw Taylor going to America on his first agricultural break. You saw Taylor ride car that worth more than 70,000. We told our people, but our people being carried away by the many lies and secret of Senator Taylor. Today, they are seeing why Senator Taylor has suddenly metamorphosed. But we are not surprised that we say historical circumstances can even way of promoting or entity to position of relevance. And unfortunately, Senator Taylor, who was an inconsequential political figure because of historical circumstances today, is really able to be elected as Speaker of our country.
Thank you.
But we are saying to our people as we move forward to 2023, let us not be deceived again. The same people, they are the same people that you cannot afford to look for. Let us not be.
Thank you. We'll leave you and take the very last person. 1 minute. You're the last. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Diana Gegekwe. I'm calling from TSA room.
Go ahead, Diana. Let's hear you.
Now, pertaining to the channel post, stars or whosoever you call yourself, if you are a manager, you have control over everything that goes on in the post. So you cannot stand up, you in America and you are calling names. Okay, even though you are calling names, so want documents to prove on what you are saying. Because we are not taking any corruption situation for granted. Mercy will not rob justice.
Oh, yeah?
This time, because we need development in our country. Now, pertaining to Darius Liar Delon, we told the Liberian people, and we'll continue to say it. Darius Delon has brought public disgrace to himself and to our country alive. This means he talks about life, and he's sick, he's a darkness. He talks about integrity, he has no value. He talks about morality, and he's in the form of immorality. Can we trust this man? And I want to arm my boss or in fact, a Burma. Now God will remove you, Darius Delon. Very soon you will remove for all the 9 years. You will never spend your 9 years so I wicked to the Liberian people. Thank you so much.
We leave you right there. And trust me, we're not gonna take any more call. We're sorry if you are calling. We can no longer take your call. I said it. Please listen to the radio. We are not taking any more call on this discussion. Now, I just said that we are not taking any more call on this discussion. If you call, I'm going to block your number. Trust me, I'm going to do that. Anybody call, I'm going to block their number. That's being, that's violating our code here. So there's been too many things happening in the country, and it is important we speak to them on a daily basis. You know, when President Weah took over in 2018, he took over a country where everybody had their own personal interests. So from the onset, you had competing priorities. Everybody has something that they valued. The president appointed too many people in the government. Every ministry had a minister proper appointed, with deputies and assistant ministers appointed as well. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs in any country is a crucial government entity. For the folks in America, the position of the foreign minister is the Secretary of State. That position is as crucial as whatever you want to think about it. And that's why, with the exception of the foreign minister and other people serving the foreign service, you don't find people calling anybody His Excellency. You understand that? The ambassadors are referred to as His Excellencies. You know, when they are referring to one another in the foreign circle, they say, you know, Federal Excellencies and whatever. That ministry is very crucial. That's what it is. Now, when Benson Garfinley was appointed, Liberia's former foreign minister, at least for him, he made it clear that he had no foreign knowledge. He didn't do any foreign relations and whatever. He went to the elections in Basel, he was whipped, you know, and that was it. The president appointed D. Maxwell Sakimia. When Maxwell was appointed, Liberians across the world, including Liberians in Liberia, had issue with Maxwell being appointed because he had a case of sexual harassment on him. I repeat, a lady in America who was assigned, or who is still assigned at the Liberia's office at the UN, where Maxwell Sakimia was appointed initially, complained Maxwell of sexually harassing her. You know what I mean? Almost say, you know, Maxwell Sakimia used to be telling a woman, I mean, a girl, you know, say you want to do patawi, you know, keledu with a woman. And she has been refusing, but consistently he will be harassing her. That case went to the court in America. We are told, at the time we were told, that there was an arrest warrant hanging over Maxwell Sakimia if he dares enter the United States of America. So on the basis of that, Liberians argued that it was not necessary. It was highly unnecessary for his appointment to go through. In the end, he became foreign minister. Today, our foreign minister cannot travel to America. There is not a single trip he has made to the US since he became foreign minister proper of our country. No, do I need to tell you that Liberia can never survive? Now, when you think this thing is a joke, rethink. Former President Taylor made it clear that nobody, no president, no Liberian president can survive, can succeed, unless he's in good line, good working relationship with Washington. Charles Taylor made that clear. No, it may not be the way Charles Taylor saw it, but what he meant was to have a very smooth leadership in this country the government at every given point in time should have a good rapport with the U.S. On our governance structure, the government ministry that is responsible to kindle that level of coordination between Liberia and the rest of the world is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Unfortunately, our minister is afraid of traveling to the most powerful country on the planet because of a case of sexual harassment hanging over him. Because of a case of sexual harassment hanging over him. Maswell is yet to make a single official trip to America. And don't tell me, say, the government has not been busy in America since Maswell was appointed. On two different occasions, we saw the Minister of Finance, we saw the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Minister Nathaniel McGill, Minister Twere. We saw several other government officials, including Mayor Koji, Jawazin Koji. 2 many CDC government officials have gone to America since Maswell was appointed. All of their trips to America, all of what they went to do to America were issues that, you know, surrounds the strengthening of the relationship between the two countries. In this case, the foreign minister should be the one playing the lead role. The foreign minister should be the one in the lead position in championing that arrangement in terms of having a smooth relationship, whether it is bilateral between two countries or multilateral relationship. I mean, whether it is in the region or whether it is globally. Even with the fact that Maswell Sakimiya is having issues in going to America and other issues, this man is refusing to work with his colleagues who's supposed to deputize on his behalf. Maswell Sakimiya, the man who can go to America because he got sexual accusation against him. Whether that true, he do it, but he won't go. I don't know why you don't want to go. A clear conscience, you fear nothing. I don't know why you don't want to go. But that is not my argument. My argument here is he who is aware that he got these issues hanging over him is making life miserable for his deputy ministers at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Many of them will not speak out. And the only reason why he's doing it, because according to them, this man is in the habit of always citing a 1972 provision. Something on 1972 statute. Let me go and read something about it. A deputy, look, a senior minister, and there's a very hardcore information from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs chat room. Don't ask me how I got it. I got it because I'm a researcher. Let me get the information to you. A deputy minister made it clear in this information I have in my possession that Minister Kimiya appointed 8 of his family members. That's nepotism all by itself. 8 of his family members to lucrative positions in the foreign service. To the extent that some of those family members are making even more better money than their supervisors. How possible is that? I'm the boss here. I'm the supervisor at that entity. There's somebody who was recommended to work in my department that I'm supervising is making more than what I make. What logic is that? A foreign minister, a deputy foreign minister is making this assertion in their chat room. According to Minister Kimiya, there is a 1972 law. According to it, that gives him the authority to do anything he want to do without consulting his colleagues. Now, in the unmatched, uncommon wisdom of any president across the world, and Joshua is no exception. President Weah is no exception. I mean, no exception to that. The president will always appoint ministers and appoint deputies to help that minister adequately, effectively, and efficiently discharge the function of that office or to do the job of that ministry. What we are told is that this minister who knows that he can travel to America. He can travel, to America, that is our biggest ally. Is at the same time suppressing his deputies and trying to do everything, do all of their jobs. There are issues that has to do with he went to Morocco, a deal that Boisson Gafine initiated. The deal came out to somewhere around $2 million. The Moroccan government gave 1.5. There is this information that he took 500,000 in tender, 700,000 in tender to renovate foreign ministry. Up to now, he has not released a single cent from that money. Nobody knows what happened to the money. That information I cannot verify independently, but it was posted by a journalist friend of mine, Charles B. Yates. I hope Charles Yates could call. But like I said, the reason I'm not going to outrightly say Maxwell Sakimia is trying to divert that money is because I am yet to independently verify. You see what we can do here? Once we don't have the perfect proof on you that you corrupt, we're not talking. We're not saying we're authority. We put it in quotation. And those who made that accusation, we call them. And I hope Charles Yates could call me and provide more information because he posted that. Charles Yates of the that should be Integrated Watch newspaper. Right? He is aware that he can travel to America. Now, this is supposed to be the Liberian face to the world. Imagine your foreign minister is in problem with the greatest country in the world, America. Now, what are we going to do now? He's the head of all of the ambassadors. All of those ambassadors may report to the man that he can brief the president of the country's foreign standings. Our position outside of the country, our position in the world. He can tell the president our embassy in Beirut is this, our embassy in Jordan is this, our embassy in Senegal, the embassy in Nigeria. He would tell the president directly. Because those ambassadors across the world report directly to him, to his ministry. And he's supposed to brief the president on the foreign policy of our country. Just imagine such an individual can go to America. Mazda Kimia can go to America. Now, you know that you got problem, you can go to America. Instead of being so friendly with your court of officials, your deputies, and being so flexible with them so that you can have a smooth running of the entity so that Liberia can win in the end, he is playing all powerful and almighty at the ministry. He alone. Maxwell alone, doing everything. There's the information I got. Sufficient one to. I mentioned 8 of his family members. 8 of his family members. 8 of those people. And when they ask him, he said there is a 1972 law. Yeah, somebody said. Yeah. Some ambassadors have been threatened by the foreign minister from sharing sensitive information from their foreign missions to some deputy ministers at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Oh, you can already travel to America. And let me just let you know, I'm a prospective, I'm a how you call this thing? A foreign relations student. But in the foreign diplomatic sector, America is a big brother. America got great allies. Just in case America got a problem with you, their allies start suspecting you. Then a problem. So already he's aware that he got that huge issue on him. And not even different thing. It is not anything different but sexual harassment. Women have plenty. To go and clear that case, the man can go. From the day they raised that issue, the man had never gone to America. Liberian government official that I know, where after 6 months they don't go to America, they won't die. Our foreign minister is yet to go to America. Now, instead of giving other people the job to do, giving them the breathing space to do what they're supposed to do, he's there covering up, just overly playing the role of everybody. He's not consulting. He's not talking to nobody. He's not Nothing is doing. And by the way, the reason why we are concerned is because we want to see the president succeed. The reason why we are concerned is because we want to see President Weah to succeed and we want his government to triumph. He inherited a country where our whole, and I repeat, the whole extractive sector was broken down. He inherited a country where all of our concessions were signed and booklessly auctioned. To help him build the roads that he will need to build, to help President Weah build the schools and put the currency in the places we need currency, in the places we need this and that to happen, he will need a foreign minister who will help him do the negotiation and the lobbying from the foreign perspective, not a minister who is afraid to travel to America because somebody will arrest him because he attempted or allegedly harassed somebody sexually. The way we'll get the foreign partners to support us if we have a very robust, innovative, and hard-working foreign ministry that will keep engaged with the different foreign missions across the world, and those foreign missions will keep engaging their host countries, and that's how you have those investment incentives coming. That's how you have those bilateral opportunities coming. But in the absence of that, we're not going to move anywhere as a country. We're not. We're not. Look, for some security reason, I'm not going to read what I have in my possession from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs chat room, where you have ambassadors, ministers, directors, hardcore officials at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where you have them expressing dissatisfaction, and this minister is not disturbed. He's not bothered. He's not concerned. No, it is sad. And we depend on the foreign ministry to give us a lot. We depend on the foreign ministry to lobby for good companies. I mean not good companies, but good countries to rekindle our relationship. We depend on the foreign affairs to strengthen our ties with our countries, with our allies. Now, if you have a foreign minister who is the head of the ministry with serious problem in America, then where are we heading? When Taylor Mills understand that once you're in line with America, you're good. Then our foreign minister can go to America for what? Now you can go to America, you're good. You minister. See, you can go. You sort of be sitting here, the other minister let me going. You sort of be sitting right here in Monrovia. When I Ghana, you're seeing running. The last time the president in Ghana. So on a small conference, you were there. In Ivory Coast, you know, the joint security thing, boom, you were there. Ghana again, you were there. But I tell you, say America, something different. You won't go. Once you know that your whole traveling, that only foreign minister for African affairs. I thought you're supposed to be foreign minister proper, but he's foreign minister for Africa, Asia, Europe affairs. America, that blank check. I mean, a black list. I beg your pardon. Now, instead of you liaising with your co-workers, he's there suppressing the guys. I mean, one of the deputy ministers got complained. The different foreign missions across the country, the guys are complaining. He's just appointing and doing all kinds of stuff. Awarding different stuff to people. Now, you can run the foreign ministry like that. You can do that. It is not in our power to tell the president what to do. The president is a man of wisdom, and he's aware of what to do at the appropriate time. Howbeit, it is important that we stress that if we will need to make progress as a country in gaining the respect we need from the outside, our face, which is the foreign ministry, our face, which is the foreign minister, should be an all-clear individual. With the American Marine and the U.S. military, in their military language, say it is all clear. It means you can run with your weapon without expecting any indirect bullets coming from anywhere. You should be all clear of every single accusation. Then when you speak into the United States government or whatever State Department, when you put in the case of Liberia, they won't see you as that individual, you know, with a dark closet. But you can go to America, you got scandal on you. Then your deputy minister who's supposed to be doing, at least when you get go to America, they, you know, when you get invitation, you can send your deputy minister for administration or operation or whatever, they can go. But you just squeeze on everything. And almost like the child who shot child, very short little kid. And he not even ought to fit on the table to put a cup there. You want to take the cup from him to have me and put it on the table? He said, no, don't take it from me. You want to take the cup from the child is holding the cup. Yeah, the man's only a foreign minister of Africa and Africa, Asia, and Europe affairs. He's not foreign minister proper. A foreign minister should have no boundary. He should have no border. He should have no limitation. This foreign minister who came to America is only good to be referred to as the foreign minister for Africa, Europe, and Asian affairs. So our ministry now is no longer Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We now have a Ministry of Africa, Europe, and Asian affairs. America is not inclusive because we have a minister who came to America because a simple thing like woman business, woman business, woman business, Alabama problem. No, Alabama can get woman. What you get? You whole ambassador at UN, a woman business issue. That woman, how to call the thing? Allegation. The guy can't get it. A man harassing me. The case in court. Boom. He ought to go to America. Tomorrow we'll continue with the discussion. But I'm not going to say anything to the president. The president is a man of wisdom. I trust his wisdom. I know what he knows best for the country. But the best thing we can say here is to ask Minister Kimia to consider his colleagues as important as he is, because all of them were equally appointed by the same president to serve the same ministry, to provide the same result, which is to give Liberia and Liberians the best under the We As administration. So his attitude should not be the reason why people who are supposed to make contribution will be deprived. We are asking him to continue to do his job, but let him be sure that he respects the views of his colleagues and he works in line with his colleagues. That place is not a family property. It is not an area where you will do personal operation to say you are the almighty. Your opinion is fine or no. If that were A, then our governance structure wouldn't have been designed in such a way that there will be assistant ministers and deputy ministers assigned to assist the minister proper. No. So we beg you. Already we have a Ministry of we have a Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Ministry of African, Asia, and Europe Affairs. Not Ministry of Foreign Affairs again. But Ministry of African, Asia, and Europe Affairs. That's what we have. Already we have a paralyzed ministry. Because a ministry where the minister ain't go to America is a paralyzed ministry. How you want to say it? How you want to say that one? The minister ain't go to America is a paralyzed ministry. Already we have a very one-sided ministry. We can't even, look, every Liberian want to go to America. The whole continent want to go to America. Then we got minister who can go to America to push our case. Instead of working with the deputy ministers who got clean record to go to America, he's there making life difficult for his colleagues. But that case with Charles Yates, that issue he raised involving that 700,000, we will investigate. I will join that investigation. I hope Charles Yates can give me all of the evidence he got in his possession and let us have it. If we have it, when we are convinced that he got involved in that alleged corrupt act, we will spill the beans. But since we don't have facts to that, I will not join here today to say incorrupt. But on the issue of nepotism, we can speak to it that he has appointed 8 of the family members because one deputy minister said it in their chat room. And there are other people who came and defended him in it and said the man right to do it. So we'll leave right there. Tomorrow we'll continue with the conversation. We'll only take 5 or at most just 6 calls, then we call it a day. 6 calls maximum. We call it a day on this discussion. So join us. If you were right there, join us on the numbers you already know. And let's have a conversation right here. Let's take this first question. Hello? 1 minute. 1 minute, William.
Come on, all the news it really made me angry. Why made me angry is that even the president appointed this man, the man was having a reality and the people, the man told the people to defend people because you don't want to go on in. So why a foreign minister might be appointing a family member to foreign area. Then I got playing there. I got high money more than they put that. And so what is that for where? So I want the Magdalena to look next to the server. I got something.
They make it. You said who should look into it, Minister Magill?
Yeah.
The men refuse to speak to Minister Magill at the U.S. Embassy. Second, Oliver can't say. I know about that. We leave you right there. We leave you right there, my brother. Let's take this other person. 1 minute. Hello.
Yeah. Good evening, KOK.
Go ahead, my brother. Let's hear you. 1 minute.
Thank you for the show. I think Minister Kimaya. That ministry is not a relative ministry. First and foremost, I'm Melvin TG going a call from Peace Island.
Go ahead, Melvin.
That's done a family ministry, and I think the president will act in the soonest possible time because we need to, as the president prepared to go to the GA at the UN. At the UN. So we need a quick result.
Hello, my brother. Before you leave, we are told that he is even discouraging the president not to go to the UN. And for the president to just send a delegation because it will not be a good thing that the president go to the UN in America while he's left behind in Liberia. That's what we are told. We are told that he's trying.
That's why we trust the judgment of the president. He will move swiftly because he cannot represent us currently. If the president even have other substantive issue to look after, national issue, he cannot represent us because of that sexual allegation. So the president will make the trip. And I think it will be the turning point for Mazwa Kimaya. Thank you for the time, KOK, and thank you for the show.
Thank you very much. We'll leave you and take the other person. 1 minute, no time. Hello?
Yes. KOK, good evening.
1 minute, no time.
Thank you very much. This is the National Chairman of Nahusu, Emmanuel Wablo.
Go ahead, Wablo.
Thank you very much. I listened to your deliberation, you scratched on several issues. And the most disgusting part about the foreign minister issue is by denying the minister, the ambassador in the state of Liberia an opportunity of using a car, where in his work is using it in America.
Wow.
Because my friend is working in the embassy too as one of the secretary. These are the information are getting to us. If they have worked on a diplomatic mission outside of the embassy, they look for taxi and carry them there to let's say on a mission. These are the embarrassment that Minister Mazda Sakimiya is causing the country. So I mean, the president got to see reason to see what whether Mazda can be called to book or be investigated. Seriously.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much for putting on the time.
Thank you very much. We leave you. We'll just take the last 2 calls, then we call it a day. Only 2 calls. We take the last 2 calls, we call it a day. Yes, let's squeeze in this person. Hello, 1 minute.
Hello, Khan.
1 minute. Go ahead. No time.
Thomas and Sabo Meva Mopao are joining from the Johnsonville.
Go ahead, Thomas.
There was an issue between Minister Kimaya and Minister Maggio where he said the president should do as the picture thing where the president would sit down in front of laughter in a horse to be speaking the assembly, and Minister Maggio said the president should be in America with flesh and blood. So you get a lot of international connection meeting a friend. You can't tell the president that the president should be in Liberia through the internet discussing our foreign policy there. So Mr. Maggio said that Mr. Kimaya was intimidated even the president is insulting each other. So you see, this guy not mean no good work for this country because nobody will not do that work.
Okay. Thank you.
No minister will be successful without his deputy. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll continue this discussion by tomorrow. Let's take the last person that we call your day. Your name and where you join us from. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Rabito Dennis, and I'm prepared to be called the Peace Ambassador of Nigeria. I call for peace with KOK.
Go ahead, Dennis. Quickly, no time.
KOK, we said there the last time that even Sir Kimuya, the minister, when you were appointed as ambassador in the U.S., when the man was going in the U.S., my brother, the man carried 80% of his family there. And as I speak to you, every one of them left there. Now he's doing the same thing now. We said it last time, over and over. So the president has to do something about it. And the issue of the money that you just talked about, I want you to really investigate. And then I know that something good will come from Allah. Thank you for the opportunity.
We're going to return here on tomorrow. Trust me, we will keep deepening into the foreign affairs issue, while at the same time asking our man Charles MacArthur de Gore to give us more information, give us a check, give us the article of incorporation, give us more documents so that we fight corruption together. Until that is done on tomorrow, we return here. Have a God bless day. My name is Kai. Bye-bye.